I've lost the books, I don't know where they are. Friends, welcome back to the channel. Sarah from Ink and Hue Colouring here. Today's colour along will be in Fragile World by Kerby Rosanes. And we are going to be colouring the double page spread of the Jaguar today. So I'm very excited about this. There's a lot of opportunity to make this super bright. So this will be a real-time guided colour along. I did have a request in my planning video to be to talk you through this one, as I am planning on using a lot of Derwent Inktense and water-soluble mediums. So we're going to do that today. I think my plans so far for this page, just so we've got a bit of like a roadmap, if you will, before we get started, I do want to base everything in Derwent Inktense and then go over the top with either more Inktense, some Albrecht Durers, or even some neocolor too, and then finish off with some pencil work. So I'm kind of aiming for 2/3 of this page to be water-soluble medium layers and then pencil for some details and also embellishments and things like that. I have seen a lot of recreations of this page, a lot of interpretations. So what I'm thinking of doing is hopefully something a little bit different. And off the top of my head, as I'm looking at this water, see how I've got all these white sections? There's been on the occasion I have seen these left white, or I've seen these coloured in a very light blue. I'm going to actually just go over them today and have more of a painterly look to the whole page. And then what I will do is the shapes that I can still see, we'll do some highlights and some accent work with those. I think we could even, if we wanted to, rather than show every bit, like we could show a portion, etc. So I kind of don't want to have these too much in the forefront, is what I'm saying. So I've got a lot of blues and teals and like jungly green colours and yellows and browns for the Jaguar. However, I want to throw a whole heap of colour in it as well. So I want to have the Jaguar being like purple and pink too in the shadows, and same with the Lilypads. Throw different colours in there, same with the water. Let's just have our main colours, but then let's just have everything bright and colourful. So with all that being said, we're going to dive straight in. This will probably be a 2-part series, given that we are doing double pages. So we're going to start with our Derwent Inktense, and so I will zoom you in first so you can see a little bit more detail. All right, so let's start from, I'm going to kind of work this up, work from right to left-ish where I can. So I'm going to start with some shadow colours first. So let's start with green aquamarine. And we'll just start doing some layers. So see how we've got all these shadow markings here. I'm going to start by covering all of those up and working my way outwards. And let's go like a medium pressure, and we can like taper off. So medium, taper off to light about there. You don't have to be exact with how far you bring it out, just bring it out maybe like a couple of centimetres, an inch or something. Just whatever feels right to you. Let me just pull my chair down a bit. There we go. I swear my chair that I sit in, my little office chair, it like, when I'm not sitting in it, it just gets higher. And I feel like I'm just like towering over everything. Yeah, so this is, I've got some, colour family plans, like I was saying, but I really just want to have this painterly effect. We could even make it darker if we want to. We could almost have it like he's stalking through like a river at night or something, maybe. We'll see how it unfolds. I really have no specific goals and wishes other than making it super colourful. And very, like I said, just making it nice and painterly as well. We could use watercolour, but I really like using Derwent Inktense in this book. They just like Go so nicely. All of Kerby's books take Inktense really well. So we can layer them too. We don't have to just do one layer. Like I was saying, I do envision this to be mainly water-soluble mediums. I do have some Albrecht Durers in front of me because I was going to do the Albrecht Durers as like layer 2 for some colours, but then I kind of had the thought, like, what if we did neocolors? That'd be fun. So as you can see, I'm just being very loose with it. I'm not following anything else other than the shadows. I used to, with Derwent Inktense, as I'm using them, my, I suppose, repertoire of styles that I use these for is really broadening. So at first I would just do one Inktense layer and then you do your color pencils over the top and you'd use similar or like colors to get the effect that you're after. However, of late, I'm really branching out with that and yeah, exploring different mediums to use them with, even going over the top with different color pencils than the Derwent Inktense, so not having them match with the dry pencils. So the world really is our oyster when it comes to these. And I'm really enjoying just, yeah, playing around with them. So I'm just going to continue filling in the areas. I might just flip my book a little bit so I can get in these. There we go. So I'm not angling my arm over the top of the book. So you can see harder pressure where the shadows are so I can have more color, and then a lighter pressure as I'm fading outwards. I probably feel with these, I don't need to have paper behind. I don't feel with the Inktense, I have too much of an issue of me going over the edge of the page, so I don't feel like I need to protect anything at this stage. Feel free, I do my best to put everything in chapters too, so feel free to skip ahead to any part, or you might just like to put me on double speed. Even I edit in double speed because otherwise these videos would take me 4 hours to edit. So yeah, speed is good. Sometimes. So we'll get the shadows done first, and then if I feel like I need to do like, you know, these areas here and bring like a vignette down, if that's how you say vignette, I don't know, then I can do that. But let's just do the shadows first. So you don't always have to have everything super planned out before you start. You really don't. Just start off with a concept. And build it up. So I'm imagining lots of deep shadows here. I almost was thinking we could do like a bit of a reflection, which I'm kind of not sure about. So we could have like some oranges in here. I'm not sure. I've never done that before. I might have to practice that off camera and then let you know, because we would be, you know, it's water, and because the Jaguar will be like brown and yellow and things like that, like how's that going to work? We could layer it, and I suppose the good thing with the Inktense is that because you can't really reactivate it all that well once you've activated it the first time, so I don't think we'd have too many issues of color blending, but it might do some optical mixing. I'm actually not quite sure. Let me know in the comments if you've done reflections before with these and what your technique is. So, you know, how do you go about having an orange reflection in blue water? I'm sure it's possible. I just don't have that knowledge yet, so that's something that I will acquire eventually. Let's give this a sharpen. And I'm wondering, just bear with me for a sec. I want to try and get this book open as much as I can, just with that spine. It's pretty good, but I was wondering if I could crack that even more. See how flat I can get it? Okay, that's probably good enough. Okay, we return. Like I was saying at the start, you could choose to keep all these sections white. I suppose it's a stylistic choice. There's no one correct way to do it. It's however you interpret the colour and the image itself. I'm just going to get right into the spine here by doing that. I could turn the book around, I really could, but yeah, let's do that. Let's see if this is better. Okay, that's a bit easier. That's a bit easier. Back the other way. There's even all these shadows in here too, which we can look at. Yeah, we'll just try and get this as colourful as we can. And we can adjust before we activate anyway. You don't have to be done with one colour. When you think you're done, you can just come back with it. I'm already thinking I want to throw some purples and greens in here. And we could do that at before we activate first, or we could do it on the second layer after we've done the first activation. We could do both, which could be fun. We could even try, like I was saying with the neocolor 2s, if we use those, we could even try shaving a little bit of them into sections and using that. I have seen Joanna Stone do that on her channel, which I spoke about in my last real-time colour along, if you were watching that one. So maybe we could give that a crack, and I'll tag her again if I do it, because I got the idea of her channel. She does that with Kerby stuff. It looks unreal. Ah, margins. They'll be forever my nemesis. Can't avoid them. They're in every book. It's just this, I just can't get it flat. So it's got this like little bump. But oh well. It's just, yeah. I can just get at that with the brush. That'll be fine. Oh, there's a little froggy we need to do too. I actually did not notice him. There's a frog right there. So focused on old mate in the middle. We need a name for him. He needs a name. Or he, she. I don't know. What about like Brian? What do you think? Does he look like a Brian? Or like Tiffany or something, you know, for something really obscure. Brian. Yeah, let's go Brian. I don't know. If you have a better name for he or she, let me know in the comments. Or Bruiser from Legally Blonde. What about that? The little chihuahua. So I'm being quite rough because it's going to be activated. Remy started to dream. You might hear her in a sec. I can hear her doing her little dream noises. Oh, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I really want to try that Neocolor 2 shavings. And what we could do is, I don't have any white wax non-soluble crayons. I do have a white wax Neocolor 2, but it's water soluble. What we could do is maybe grab like a super waxy pencil, and we could do some highlights around the water first, and then go over with the Neocolors, because there's some really nice greens and stuff that they have. Oh, thinking out loud, guys. As you know, with my real-time stuff, I always like to talk through what I'm thinking, so you can kind of just hear my process out loud. And hopefully that helps just demystify a little bit, you know, like how does she come up with her color combinations, and how does she make the pages look really good? Or if, yeah, I mean, they don't, sometimes they come out a bit funky, but yeah, I don't have a master plan, as you know. Okay. Do more down here. Hopefully this is not hidden by the text on the screen, this pencil, but yeah, I'm getting really excited for throwing lots of different things at this, and not just a full Inktense layer and then a full pencil layer. Like, let's just ham it up a bit. Let's just do something different. And again, I will tag her below, a huge thank you to Joanna for introducing me to this whole concept. Yeah, it's really just opening my eyes up to different things that we can do. Now you might notice here as well, see how like with my strokes I'm just going on an angle, but if we look at Kerby's look at Kerby's cross hatching, we can see how they just go downwards. So if we're doing pencil work, we could follow that, but it doesn't really, to me, I don't think it really matters for water soluble mediums. I mean, it might matter to you, so if it does, just do it, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm like, we're just going over it. My aim for this is like color laydown, not necessarily precision with these layers for this particular thing. And the good thing about this page too is that with my Derwent Inktense, when I do big spaces, I always get blotchy lines everywhere because it's a reflection of my current skill level. So I'm looking forward to having all of these lines kind of hide that, because I can bring the paintbrush up to the line and then, take off and start again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll get there with it. I don't profess to be perfect with these. I'll teach you what I know and we'll experiment with the rest. Yeah, I don't think I ever profess to be an expert in something. I'm really not. There's always something to learn. This we could just blend in with orange actually. So let's just taper off a little bit up there. And let's just do like a little bit there too. That will be, like, we could have, these will probably be blue, but I mean, yeah, look, we'll see. I don't know. But we don't need this color on that at the minute because it's like a highlight, more so than a shadow. Right, I think I'm going to park this colour for now and we'll move on to the next one. The next colour we're going to play with is in the Derwent Inktense again, Sea Blue 1200, and I'm just going to mix it in with what we've already done. Not everywhere, but we can start in some shadow areas. And we could even go like spots around here. This is, yeah, as the name would imply, more blue than green. So we'll just mix it all together. The goal is here just to fill in all the shadowy areas, regardless of, regardless of what color it is. I've done the main parts in the green aquamarine, but then we can go in with the blue and just continue what we were doing. So I could bring this out a little bit over here. These parts, what I'm doing is I'm looking for like these hatch marks. I'm looking for those and I'm going to go over those. And when we activate, if the colors aren't right, then yeah, we can just use the second layer to fix that up. Sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming as to like, how do you decide with such a big space, how do you decide where to put your color and how much do you fill it up? It can feel like a bit of an endless expanse of white sometimes, but if you just chip away at it and make little decisions, then all the colors will just slowly come together. Another option is that you can work in a gradient if you want. So you can do all your shadows and your darker and then work in like a gradient and then get lighter in like these center bits and over here and things and over here where there's not much going on, opposed to here where there's a lot of shading going on. I don't always like to work in color gradient all the time. I do sometimes. Well, I do a lot of the time, but I like mixing it up and working in value, which is kind of like you have your darker value colors first and then your lighter value colors, and it doesn't really matter what shade they are, or you know, like if they're purple or blue or whatever, you can just kind of use anything. I do bang on about it a bit, so I do apologize. I've been really enjoying experimenting with value lately. You can get some really interesting results. All right, this area up here has a fair amount of shadow work in there, so I'm just going to work around this section. The other thing too is that I don't have the full set of Derwent Inktense. I'm just working with the colors that I have. I'm collecting them. I've probably got about 60. Maybe it's even less, to be honest. Maybe it's even less, maybe 50 to 60. So I don't have the full range of blues. So yeah, I'm just using what I have. Ugh, spines. Blah, blah, blah. They feel so gross. It's so like yuck to color when it's like. Let me flip the book around for this little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to reduce the amount of times I flip the book because I know it could probably send you around space. do a little bit down here. Is that, yeah. I find it so hard to see what things are upside down. I think that's another reason why I don't flip my books as much as well, because I'm like, could colour something completely wrong. What we could also do is just throw a bit of this colour with the green too. We don't have to separate them. We can mix them together. almost done with this colour. We'll just finish off a few spots, and then I kind of wouldn't mind going back to the green aquamarine because I've still got a fair amount of white space, and I don't want to kind of use my lightest colour just yet. I've got more opportunity for some colour. Yeah, and definitely that green aquamarine, because I am thinking as I lean more towards using neocolor 2s as the second layer, I'm thinking of, there's a really nice malachite green that they have, and I want to use that, and it's quite a green blue. You could almost say it's more green than blue actually, and I kind of want to use that, and I think that the green aquamarine is going to be a really nice pairing with that. I don't know, pairing's too posh of a word. I don't know. Yeah, companion, you know what I mean. All right, so yeah, see I've got like all this up here, and so let's grab the green aquamarine again, and let's just, I might like go from the corner. And I can get right up to the edge with that. I'll just change my angle here, get right up to the edge there. I'm really excited about all the colour that we're going to put in. I have just quietly been looking at all of Rita Berman's work that she colours in her own illustrations, and oh my gosh, the amount of colour she can put in. I would love to colour like that, and that's kind of my goal, is to one day be able to do that. It's probably going to take me years, but I don't care. We'll just work towards it. I absolutely love it. Her and Christine Karen, I've just been like loving all of their stuff lately. Okay, I'm happier with that. I like that kind of vibe. We can add some purple in up here and around, which we will do eventually, but let's just get this stuff sorted. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And two, with these colours, I just love this colour and the malachite green and how that looks with yellow and browns. They look so good. I love teal and yellow and earthy yellows, earthy browns together, like yellow ochres and stuff. Looks so good. Kind of like when we did Onyx, who's a Christine Karen illustration. Yeah, we used all those colours and just, yeah, love it. I did, a couple of videos ago, I released a colouring space tour, which was primarily focusing on showing you how I mix my pencils and like the mixed pencil storage setup and things like that. And part of that video was flipping through or showing you my bookshelf. I missed this section here, that's fine. And I kind of put the feelers out, and I said, because I have one Rita Berman book. And yeah, I put the feelers out and I was like, who wants to see me colour some Rita stuff? I haven't really got into it other than following colour alongs, and I'm kind of getting a bit of an itch too. And a whole bunch of you were like, yes. So I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. Okay, I'm liking, this is better, more colour. Let's do a little bit down here as well. Just fill that in and work towards. I'm also wondering if we should throw some of my green colors in here that I'm going to use for the leaves to kind of like hint at the relationship a little bit, rather than just exclusively leave the lily pads for the greens. I'm just kind of had a thought. Yeah, I wonder if that might look cool. We could try that. Because this is, the color that I'm using is more of like a blue-green anyway, so it might be a nice color shift. Yes. Okay. Bit more up here. Bit in there. A little bit here, but I don't want to kind of bring it up like the whole spine. It might look a bit too framed. I kind of want to like hint at the frame, I think, but not like have this harsh border around it. Might be, yeah, not the vibe. We'll just do a little bit up here and just leave that corner as it is, maybe. I could do a little bit, hang on. Let me just do like a, yeah, little bit. Like we don't have to bring it out to the tail. Let's just do a little bit of that. That's nice. Okay, we're looking a lot more full, which is good. And we're just gonna, maybe I should bring this up a little bit in here, yeah. Let's just join this little section up with below. So I look like I've got even amounts of white spaces. Not that, you know, like you have to be mathematically measuring everything, but just from the looks of things, it was looking a bit unbalanced having this big splodge there, but it's looking a bit better. This way, okay. That's that color. Okay, so the next color that I'm thinking is a step more towards green, and that is going to be the teal green 1300 in the Inktense. And before I start, let me just show you. So here is the green aquamarine, which we've just used. There is the teal, which I just showed you. And this is another green. So what we could do, and then if we grab that blue, that will sit on that side. So that's more blue. So if we have a look, there's a huge difference between this color and that color, but these colors in the middle kind of transition towards it. So we can actually use all four of these together in the water. And if you place this green strategically with this, or even like a lighter version of that, so we could go like it's like just different. It's kind of lighter. That's the mint leaf. We can, yeah, if you place those together, you can kind of shift between blue and green a bit more. And arguably, if you do mix these together, you can achieve those colors, but I have these colors, so I'm going to use them. So that's just a bit of a, thoughts. So again, the teal green, I'm going to bring that in. And what I'm going to do is even just hint at it with the lily pads even. So we could start off here. And we could bring it out. And then we could start off down here. Hopefully that makes sense what I was trying to explain. If you use neighboring colors together, so neighboring colors on the color wheel together, so we call that analogous colors. I just don't like to use the word analogous too much because it's probably just going to throw people off. And I don't want people getting confused. Or intimidated, I guess, because, yeah, I just don't want this to be intimidating. I want this to be enjoyable, and hopefully you can feel like you could achieve this. Yeah, so throwing this lovely cool green, blue-green in with the actual blues. See how we've just got this like glowy bit starting to appear, and it's just delicious, and yes, I love it. It's not all just the one blue or the one type of blue, we're just mixing it up. Sometimes, you know, it might call for one type of blue and a gradient, absolutely. No doubt about it. But sometimes we can mix it up. And this kind of gives a hint to the shadows of the lily pads, and even like hinting that there are lily pads underneath. Ones that have sunk a little bit, you know, things like that. And we can definitely throw that other green in that we were looking at. Oh, there's a little thing there too. The more you look, the more you find. Okay, we can even just add a little bit around the grass. And these are the spots. So these green spots, also what I'm doing is I'm establishing points of difference in terms of color. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, this is where I could make the neocolor 2 land, like the malachite greens. Like that's where I would put the shavings and then try and mix that in. So I'm still very much, yeah, in like the mapping out stage of color. Okay, that is looking north. I might just add a bit at the top actually. We can add some on its own. It doesn't always have to be mixed in because it will produce a different color if it's mixed in. Bring a bit past there because it wouldn't stop right there. If we imagine that blade of grass not there, or that reed not there, it'd carry out a little bit. Okay, let's pop some down the bottom. I think let's down here might be nice. Because I don't have it in the top corner above this, so we'll do it here. I kind of like to be a bit, I don't have these very uniform, like when you add all your different colors in and stuff, because that kind of ruins the point. They're kind of supposed to be a bit haphazard. And let's do a bit more down here because I have skipped the whisker part, and that's blended into the colors that are already there, so it's not this harsh stop. And look how nice those colors look together. Oh my gosh. I get really excited, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, let's add a little bit of color down here. So we're spacing it out. bit there. You could 100% do all of this with dry pencil if you don't have these. I probably should have said this at the start, but yeah, and you could just build up the layers. You 100% do not have to. One of my many goals is to actually work on all my pencil backgrounds and mixing and stuff and my pencil layers. I've seen some beautiful work around the traps, especially on Instagram. Oh my gosh, you could just get lost in all the crazy work that's on there. It's awesome. And a little bit down. Let's mix a bit into this blue, like so. Moving along, start with this lily pad. That one there, we could throw in a few around here. Let's bring some of these ones out. Let's go over here. We won't do around the whole lily pad. We'll just do like a section of it. Because I don't want to overdo this teal either, because if we overdo it, then it kind of loses the effect. So I kind of just want to have it in bits. There is good. I need a bit down here somewhere, so we'll use this little lily pad. Oh, there's one there too. And I kind of just want hint at it there. Yeah, happy with that. So I'm constantly like stopping what I'm doing and I'm looking back and I'm kind of seeing, okay, how's the balance of everything looking? Is it looking, have I got too much? Is it sparse, etc.? Bring a bit down there, join these together, because why not? A little bit in here. I feel like we might need some up around here. We've got a lot there, but let's move it up here a bit. So again, just filling in the gaps. Oh, I'm just looking at it as I'm colouring. I'm moving my head over to the other page. It just looks, yeah, it evokes such a feeling of calmness in me. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, because people ask a lot how I plan my pages and how do I decide what colours to use and stuff. It really is an intuitive thing, and I use my feelings a lot more than I think I do sometimes. As I've been trying to determine, Let's pop a bit green here. As I try and determine like how exactly, you know, because I get the question a lot and I'm trying to answer it in my own mind before I can actually give you an answer. And I think a lot of it upon reflection is, yeah, it's based on feeling, because as soon as I put this pencil down, I just had this really like calm feeling and excitement at the same time when I saw the color. And so I use that as like a confirmation that my experimentation process is heading in the right direction. So it's not always, you know, like color theory and science based for me. It's often based on feelings. And I think perhaps just the color theory really confirms what I'm feeling, I think. Like I was talking to you before about shifting between, you know, your greens and blues and using analogous colors and stuff. Doing that for me really evokes a feeling of joy and creativity as I'm looking at this. Like as I'm coloring, I'm seeing the greens and I'm feeling just really calm, but feeling really excited about it too. And I'm naturally going to want to lean towards that. So already I'm kind of like building connections in my head about what make me feel good and what is enjoyable to look at and what my eyes like to see. And my brain is going to remember that subconsciously. So I'm going to keep on doing it. And you develop this pathway in your head that says, if you combine greens and teals in water, it looks really cool and you're going to feel really happy about it. And you just, it's like combination unlocked and it stays in your brain. So if I can encourage you to, as you're coloring and as you're exploring your own combinations, see if you can explore the different feelings that you're noticing. And look, I profess this is not art therapy. I'm not qualified in any of that. So yeah, don't go start quoting me on things. But just from how I've been feeling about my own work, what's really helping me is just focusing on the emotion and how I feel when I look at colors. And if you can pick some of that up, that might help you with deciding on what colors to choose and learning how to be intuitive with your color choices as well. But I'm a very, in saying all of this, I'm a very like feely person. I have a lot of feelings. I feel things very deeply, which is a good thing and it can also be a bad thing. So I'm very in touch with all of that, and all of the different color choices that I make leave impressions, and I'm very good at remembering those, and then I'll just keep using them. Not everyone's like this. So this might not translate to your brain, which is absolutely fine. You might just like think about this and go, oh, what are you talking about? Which is, yeah, totally cool. Everyone's different and we're different for a reason. We're supposed to be different. So don't worry if what I'm saying makes no sense, but I know for some of you, you'll understand. So yeah. Okay, a bit more down there. Maybe we need just a smattering up here. And we need to work on just a little bit up here, and then I think we're done for this color. It's looking pretty good, because I think I do want to add like a tiny bit of green in as well, like we were discussing before. bit there. There's got a bit of a gap here, so let's just do a bit there like that. Yeah, before I add the other blue, let's go for some like more greeny green. So the color that I'm going to go with now in the Derwent Inktense is Jungle Green 410, and I'll show you again over here. So Jungle Green is a further step away from blue and green and more towards yellow. Yellow would be over here. So for example, the next color that you might have further towards yellow would be apple green, which, yeah, apple green there. So I'm gonna go with this one because it's still close enough that it'll make a nice color shift. And I'm probably gonna put this in even less spaces than I have that teal green. Running out of room. And the Lilypads will be this color anyway, so let's just like hint at it. Let's just hint at it and bring a little bit out there. Oh, I'm already looking at it. I was like, that's making me happy. Yeah. Still a little bit in here. And if we lose some of the intensity when we mix everything, we can add it back. We can grab some neocolor 2s and pop it in. No dramas there whatsoever. But this is just, it's helping me decide where it's going to sit. And yeah, if I lose some intensity, it doesn't matter. You could even, if you wanted to, you can just mix it in with blue. And you can see automatically it's like making it like a bit of a teal color already because you're mixing blue and green together. Let's do a bit down there. This Jungle Green is a new addition to my Derwent Inktense family, and I really like it. As you would probably know, I collect the Derwent Inktense. I get a few once a month when I do a restock order. And yeah, just slowly growing the family. Let's do a bit in here. It doesn't matter if it mixes in with, we can bring it over. So a bit of walnut on the page. Bit of that. It looks good there, but I enjoy it the most, I think, when it's in with these greens. So we're going to do that. It's the most visually pleasing to look at for me. Let's do a bit here. Bring this in. Oh, I'm getting so excited for this. And I'm also looking at the time and we're not even done with the water and we're over an hour already. Or we're at an hour. This takes so long. Oh my gosh. Do you ever get like so excited about something that you just can't do it fast enough because you're just so excited? I feel like that's my life. I can never do things fast enough. And it causes me a lot of issues. Let's do a bit there. Need a little bit down here somewhere. A little bit down here. I feel like this corner needs a bit of it. It just needs some colour. And I need some down here too, because it's just looking a bit, how you going? So a bit in here. Bit in the corner maybe. Yeah. Und I think we're pretty right for this. Actually, a bit there. Great. I do want to add some purple, actually, but I might get the lightest blue done, which is the Malibu 1213. And we're just going to go in and try our best to fill in all the gaps. And then we can add in some purple. I'm also really enjoying the decision to forgo all of these water lines, is because it's making the whole colouring process a lot quicker, and I'll attend to them later on. I'm kind of going to a medium to light pressure with this. It's also helping me notice that maybe I need to be accentuating the shadows a little bit more. Accentuating, what did I say? I said something weird. Yeah. Because I don't want to lose shadows, which is where the purple can come in. We could also use some brown, because often having the opposite colour shadow is nice. Man, this is going to take forever to activate. Lol. I hope you're I hope you're comfortable. I hope you got a cup of tea. Or you've got me on in the background. Maybe, maybe you're doing some baking. Maybe, I don't know, you're doing some other craft activity. Maybe you're working on a really boring university assignment and I'm in the background for you. So yeah, I'll keep you entertained. I mean, I could always just not film the activation part, but I don't know, it doesn't mean it's a real-time colour along if I do that, does it? It's weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, the whole point of real-time is real-time. My thrippy friend is back. Every time I sit here, this little bug comes over to say hello. I'm sure you can see him flying around on the camera. Call him Joe. Or Barry. A friend of mine used to always call the little spiders that sit in your car mirror. She used to always call them Joe, so I feel like this is kind of stuck. Any bug is just named Joe or Terry. Or maybe I should call this little thrippy thing Remy, because my actual Remy hangs around like a fly. A beautiful fly, a very cute and fluffy one. And I love her so much, so, you know. Yeah, so basing can take a long time, but if you put the groundwork in, it can really make the other steps in the process just so much easier and quicker, and you can get such a in-depth color. So I'm all for it. I'm all for taking the time and getting the foundations right. Absolutely, 100%. Now I'm just thinking about which pencil that I would want to use once all this is activated and stuff, and I'll go in and highlight some lines and whatnot, or create like a barrier so that some highlights can be maintained. I'm just thinking my waxiest pencils are probably the Prismacolor white and the Holbein soft white. So I could try, maybe I could try both of those and see which one I like better, just for future reference. And if you only have one or the other, you could just use that. Or if you have both, you could try both with me, if you like. Let's flip that. All right, back the other way. Sorry about that. Making you dizzy. Yeah, light to medium pressure still. I mean, it looks a bit more pressure there, but like the bend of the book kind of makes me do that. But it's fine, we'll work with it. It'll be good. Yeah, I reckon Derwent Inktense almost has to be my favourite medium to use in Kerby's books. They just go so well. I mean, I'll use them in other books. Even if I feel like they're not as great, I'll still use them because it's better than not having them. But yeah, I feel like they're so great in these books. Same with the neocolors. I love using neocolors in these books and Hannah's books too. Hannah Carlson books. I'm looking forward to figuring out what I enjoy most about Rita Berman's books. I have tried Prismacolor in Rita's books, and I don't think Prismacolor suits the paper as much. So I will be blending my brands as I usually do, mixing my brands and seeing what I like, and I'll just adjust how I use the Prismas accordingly. I'll try the Holbeins in them, we'll see how they go. But yes, as you know, I like to mix everything in. I like to have multiple personalities at the party. Okay, we are on the home stretch for the Malibu application, and then yeah, we're going to add some purples into the shadows. It's so doing it. Right. The next color I'm going to throw in is Nightshade 0770. If you don't have this one, the Derwent Inktense do have quite a range of some nice purples available. So let's just see if just continuing on with this would sit here. So it's visually closer to blue than it is to green. So I'm going to pop it in the blue sections. So if we start off by, let's just do like down here. Let's just deepen up a few things. Hopefully the purple shows through when we activate it. If not, we'll just add it on top as a second layer. Again, like I've been saying, I'm not too worried about that now. I'm really just creating a roadmap so that I know where my second layer is going to go if I really want to make the purple like pop out. Because it will mix in with whatever's underneath it. And let's do a little bit over here. Oh, you cannot see that, soz. Right over here. A bit here. I don't want to outline the whole Jaguar with it because it kind of ruins the effect because everything else is very dappled, like the other bright colours that are in here are very, yeah, dappled, so I don't want to do that. And then, yeah, maybe a little bit up here. So I'm thinking of basing the whole page before I go in and do the next layers, purely because it's going to help me decide if I need to add anything anywhere before I finalize. I would hate to, well, not, yeah, strong word, but it's probably easier if I can get all the colors placed, get the map looking really good, and then it's going to give me a better idea of if I want to add any further colors in anywhere else in my second layer. Sometimes if I were to just leave the Jaguar white and like finish the water, you might not see the full potential of what could work. And I'm thinking too, because we've got purple in the water, we could do some purple shadows on the Jag as well. And it's going to be a similar thing. We'll use yellows and pinks, and then because purple is closer to pink than it is yellow. So we'll keep going with our little rainbow example over there. Hopefully it's a really good visual so you can see how like I make all my like color shifting decisions. Let's put a little bit around here. I feel like I'm running out of spaces to put the purple, but we'll just get a bit in. I really like the addition of the purple. It's bringing me great joy. And thus, again, oh wow, I'm writing an essay. Thus, it answers the question again of how do you know what colors to put? It's trial and error over many different coloring pages, like I was saying before. So the more you do things, the more you kind of figure out what works in your head, and then you're able to save that in your brain for later. And it's easier to make decisions based on the library in your brain. All right, how are we looking for purple bits? I feel like we're really good over here. We could just, that is Ace. Yeah. Oh no, that's Remy. She has awoken from her slumber. And away she goes for more. Let's add a little bit in here. Bit of that. Let's pop a bit up the top here. Bit there. Actually, let's do some here because we don't have a lot of lot going on with this lily pad, do we? So a bit in here, a bit there. Right, I'm happy with that purple. Looking good. In saying that, let's just do a bit there. Bit there. Okay, I think I am happy with that for now. Purple's looking good. Now, let's do Brian. And what I should have said before too, so with all these that we've got for the water, you've got, you know, all of this is a color palette for a page, essentially. Like you could add some whites, you could add like a really like a creamy yellow for your highlights. You could add whatever that color is. That's like a step towards pink. That's like a deep rose color. Like you've got a color palette right there for your page. So you can just start off with one color and just work your way right and left towards yellow, towards red, as an example. So let's go this guy. So what I want to do, his body will be, Brian, his body will be yellow, and then I've got some browns reserved for the spots. So we'll start off with maybe our lightest brown for our darkest yellow shade. So let's go saddle brown, which is 1740. And let's start with, it is down here. And I'm just going to go over the spots because I'm more than happy to mix the brown over the top of the yellow. That is fine. I don't need to go around too much. And if you're wondering where does brown sit on a color wheel, brown is actually like a really dark yellow or like a really dark orange. So it'd kind of sit, if you had your yellows and oranges over here, it'd probably sit up here if you went darker this way and lighter that way. Do some ears. I'm just starting with like the easiest shadow spots that I can see, because see how it's all looking a bit same in some areas. So it's like, okay, we've got to establish all of that ourselves, which is fine. I don't know if they're supposed to be white, but I'm colouring over it. Let's do most of that. Yeah. Let's start here and bring it out a bit. Gosh, it is so dark outside today. And let's go a bit on the crown of the head and bring it out. Just a little bit, bring it out the opposite way as well. You know how animals seem to have that like fusion between there? They get that line. Like if you look at your dog's head, there's like a line there. I'm not a vet, or, you know, I'm not like well versed in how an animal's skull is fused, but, you know, maybe it's a thing. I don't know. Let's leave that gap for a bit of highlight. Let's bring some shadows down here just to establish difference between the nose a little bit. You'd think that if I can get portraits, I could get animal faces. You'd think. Huh. You would think. Leave it like that for now. We can always add more on top. That is fine. You might be surprised that I'm looking at this and going, oh, where do I put my shadows? I'm actually not that well versed in colouring animals, which, you know, is going to be great learning for this book because it's all animals. Okay, that's the spine. Let's just do a little, we only need like a little bit of shadow up here. So a fair amount here because that's like the leg joint. So we'll just bring that up. I'm just thinking out loud. I've actually got no idea. We'll just, we'll just see how it looks. Because like there'd be a bit of a curve in there, so his little belly. Been eating too many deer, Brian. No, he looks good, he looks healthy. If we want to do neocolor 2 over the top of Brian's first layer, we could use the soft white to like get some highlights in the fur maybe. I don't know if that's how you do it, but we could give it a crack. It's like a tiny little bit in there, just a little bit. A little bit in the water. Tiny little bit. Yeah. Right, it's probably enough shadow for now. We've still got like a whole massive area to do. Let me just, actually a bit of this. A bit of that. Bring a little bit around the ear and just leave like a little gap. Maybe we need, looks like there's some darker cross hatching on the shoulder here, so we could probably bring it out there. Yeah, that looks good. And I might even just do like a bit of the shadow under the spine there, because that's like on the, not on the ridge of the spine, it's like underneath it. So we just do a bit there too. So how about that? We'll see how that goes down. It's looking a bit better. Not as much white space. All right, next color. Right, next color is Sienna Gold 0240. This is a very brown yellow, so all like an orangey yellow even. So again, if we continue with this, it'd probably sit about here in terms of the colors that I have, and I'd have a lighter yellow in there because this is heading more towards orange and then heading more towards red. Hence why pink is going to work as like some accent colors, kind of how we've had purple as an accent color in here, and greens. I wasn't planning on doing that little exercise there. It's just kind of worked out. Just started doing it, so I hope it's helpful. So I'm just going to start, well, I already have started, just where my browns were, and I'm just going to go over all of that and bring this out. So unlike the water where I kind of just did splotches everywhere, this I kind of do want to do a smooth gradient for this, the first layer at least anyway, and then we can add pink in. And I think to join it all together, the lily pads might have a bit of pink in there too. We could have a little bit of pink in the water around the purple, maybe in further layers, not now, because it might just not blend together the way that I want if I did it now. So we could do like some hot pink accents for Brian, and then on the lily flowers as well, and the lily pads. So yeah, pink could be like the the accent color of the whole thing. The color that, you know, the least percentage across all the page. Looking, it's been over an hour and a half and we haven't even finished the basing. So long. That's all right. We got time, people. You could even, if you wanted to have like more of a white Jaguar, you could actually stop at this sienna gold color that I'm using. See how like, yeah, like it's like white, but there's a hint of darker color. You could leave it. You could leave lots of white space if you like that look. That might not be a bad idea for like a snow leopard or something. There is a snow leopard at the start of this book. We could do something like that. So it's like, hey, it's white, but it's not all white. Just gonna flip my book around. Back the other way. Yeah, he needs to be a little bit more vibrant, but I do have another yellow going on top of that. But once we activate things, it should, oh, look at my hand. Left-handedness. Picking up all the stuff. But once we activate, yeah, it should brighten up a little bit. We can always go in with more colours for the second layer, which I feel like I'm just a broken record with that. All right, that's that color. Our next color is going to be Sicilian Yellow, 0220. So again, if I grab my little bubbity, that'll go there. So I've got this nice rainbow developing. And I'm just going to continue with that and just bring it out further and hopefully brighten him up a little bit. Yeah, plenty of opportunity to add in some lovely pinks in the shadows. So I'm just filling this in right to the end, it's fine. Cover it all over. And then work on some spots. And I think let's do some shadows. A little bit more shadow. Or I reckon it's so fun just like colouring in big strokes like this. And it's fast too. And you can see I'm holding my pencil quite far back so that I can like move it and leverage it. Oh, you're out of the camera shot, sorry. Here we go. You get the gist of what's happening though. Okay. So my phone stopped filming for a little bit because I ran out of space. So all I did was just fill in all these lines, the gaps there with the same pencil. So I think what I want to do now is just maybe let's do a little bit more of subtle brown. Let's go back to that. And while we're doing that, we shall also fill up some of these spots as well. I'm not quite sure. Just thinking on how to do it. If this needs to be all yellow or if this needs to be brown too. I might just have a quick look. Okay, so yes, we will go with slightly browner in the middle. These big ones. And then we can add in some colour over the black spots as well. And we might need a few more black spots around the face and everything like that, but we can add that in later. I don't necessarily need to use the Inktense for that because it might end up I might get like too much black everywhere. So I'll just leave that for now. Okay. Let's do a couple around here. And we'll just deepen up some of these. Shadows a little bit. Maybe add in some darker shadows even. I think what we'll do is we'll brown up all the spots in layer 2. If I do it in layer 1, it's going to be really finicky to like fiddle all around with that, so maybe we'll leave it. A bit at the top here, and then let's go a little bit darker. Let's go natural brown 1907, and we'll just do some shadows. So I'm just going in the deepest parts. Let's get in his ear a little bit. A little bit on the hair. Sorry, skull, forehead, whatever you want to call it, head. All right, I reckon let's move on to some lily pads now. And I might start with Ionian Green 1320, and probably will go darker on the outside and work my way in. So we'll keep a bit of get a bit of an edge going. We'll get a color gradient going as well, I think, and we'll use some other color to thread through there. Maybe we could do some stripes with some alternate colors like teals and purples. Again, probably saving that for layer 2, I'm thinking. We could put the teal in now, but I'm just thinking that we might put the purple in after, maybe a bit of pink, because the purple and the pinks are a fair jump from these kind of colors that I'll be using. So we can put purple in over the top later, because if I mix it might look a little bit muddy for the look I'm going for. I've certainly done it before, where you use purples with greens, but maybe just for this purpose we won't do that for now. But if we paint it over the top, it'll just sit on it nicely once everything's dried. Might just turn my book a little bit this way. Just going to pull out the old pencil extender for this one, if it'll fit. No, this is like the biggest extender I have, and the Inktenses and the drawings don't fit in there, so I'll just have to hold it like this for now, which is kind of annoying. So Remy hair. I always find dog hair on my colouring pages. Some beautiful embellishments for sure. All right, let's get some little shadows under Mr. Frog. Kind of like almost missing all these little lily pads. And this one down the bottom too. Okay, a couple to go. And there's one down here that I missed. Alrighty, our next colour is field green. So that is field green 1500, and that is our second colour. And we'll just make our way around again. Now the Ionian green that I was using is a bit more of a yellow green. However, it's the only green that I have that's darkest. Oh, sorry, it's the darkest green I have, and I'm just gonna use it. So we can, I do have an Albrecht Durer that we could change the tone of it with if I need to, but we might be right with the types of greens that I'm using going forward. But yeah, it's the only green that I have, so I'm dark green that I have, so I'm just going to use it. Sometimes you just got to get a bit creative if you don't have everything. Alrighty. Just moving all my books around everywhere. I don't have enough space. Ace is grumpy. You can hear him. He's not happy because he wants to bark at things and run around the house, and I'm not letting him. He's unhappy about it. Oh, I know, buddy. I'm actually thinking, as I'm going along and looking, I'm thinking that we, after this colour, could start going around with a dark purple. I know I said I didn't want to do this before, but I'm changing my mind as I go. How many of you guessed that I was going to change my mind? I wonder. All of you, probably. Yeah, I've changed ideas, what we could do. I'll show in a minute so you understand what I mean. But I think we could actually throw some different colours in here at this point in time. And we can keep them separate in a way that's not going to muddy everything together. A little bit in the corner here, and moving up to the last few. Okay, I think that is it for that colour. Now what I want to do, let's start with this deep rose colour. What I'm going to do is just take some corners and start applying this. So that is 0710. And I know I'm going over green. That's fine. I'm going to let it happen. All it's going to do is create like a dark black colour, which is fine. It'll just add to the vibe of the thing. It'll be like a black brownie. And I'll just taper it off because I'm going to add a pink in as well. So let's get some, just on the corners here, grab a corner. Start strong, taper off. Any corner will do. I'm just going at the very edge here. Any corner will do. In hindsight, you could always leave the portions blank with no green that you want to do, but I'm going to add it in. I mean, I can't take it away, so I could erase it, but I'm going to, so yeah, I'm going to leave it there. It's fine. I'll add to it. I kind of do want the shadows that it'll create left in. Another Remy hair there. Like so, another one. I could go 2 even. Down here. And rather than go from a corner, let's go for like this section, so we're not too repetitive. I know I said I was going to add purple in later, but we're doing it now. And we'll add some back here. I just start getting an ick if everything's the same colour, you know. But I can look at other people's stuff that just have the same colours and I'm just like, that looks amazing, I love it. But if I do it, I don't know what it is. Okay, so that's the deep rose. So we'll park that for now. Now I don't have, in the Derwent Inktense, I don't have a pink, the right shade for what I want to go with. So I'm going to switch to an Albrecht Durer. This is Pink Carmine 127. Now the Albrecht Durers are a different formulation. They're not going to be as bright, but because we're working towards the center where the lighter colors are going to be anyway, I'm going to use it a little bit strategically. I do like to mix my Albrecht Durers in with the Derwent Inktense, usually if I want to establish some lighter areas. So I'm just going to go over the top of the purple parts. And I'm going to drag the pink all the way out. To the center. And taper off a little bit because we can put some, we could put a bit of orange in there or something maybe. Oh no, maybe not orange, we'll just leave that for the green. Or we could just go right to the edge actually, yeah. Let's just do that. Right to the edge. So it's like a slice. A slice of each lily pad is like a different colour, a wedge. And I didn't do one up here. That's fine, we'll just do it with the Albrecht Durer. So if the pink carmine doesn't turn out as dark, then we can fix that up with pencil over the top or neocolor too. I'm really just trying to get pops of colour in. So again, using Albrecht Durers and Derwent Inktense is like using apples and oranges to try and achieve the same thing. They're different, but they're both fruit. And if you know what the rules are, you can break them intentionally, which is what I'm doing, which is how I use Albrecht Durers and Derwent Inktense together. This is how I roll. And I find that this pink carmine colour as well, it's a very saturated colour. It works really well. I've got some like little watermarks coming through. Can you see there? That's from the other page. That's why I flipped it over before. It's coming through from the glitter underneath this page. Which I've just, I haven't tabbed that. I've been getting into the habit of tabbing my completed pages with the date on it. Karen from My Colourful Country Life does it, and gee whiz, they look really good, and I've been wanting to do it for ages, and I've been putting it off. So I'm finally doing it. And I'm about maybe 3/4 of the way through. I've got over like 100 tabs to do, so it's a lot. All right, I think that's it for the pink, but yeah, adding a little bit of colour in, which is nice. Circling back to the greens, now we're going Jungle Green 1410, and I'm just going to follow again with the green combination. Bring that in with, this is the second last colour, so I'm going to pull it forward as much as I can. That's probably more of a relevant thing on the bigger ones because I do have a fair amount of space still. So I'm just going to try and avoid the pink bits. Keep them separate. I'm also going to add some teals in, but I think we've got enough in the water, so it might be all right. I feel like I wanted the pink a bit more. while we've got this in hand, let's start with these reeds. Thinking I want to go green, and at the tips let's go brown, orange, yellow, and then the yellow can mix with the green, kind of like this. Let's do, so this is the green that we're using now, and then we can use these and add like a brown at the end and kind of transition it that way. Give that a crack. And what we could also do as well, see how I've got these like darker spots? We could even fill those in with gel pen later on. I don't want to be too stripy because then they'll start looking like beach balls. But we could even use a hologram. We could use anything. All these ideas running through the brain. How to implement them all at once. these like water splodges that I'm passing over, I'm going to make them white with glitter, so I'm ignoring them for now. So it doesn't matter if they're coloured over, and it's kind of easier just to colour over them and then just cover them up than to try and avoid them. What I might do with the reeds as well, I might just have the Derwent Inktense component this green, and then we'll do the rest with pencil. That's Remy. She's mad at me because she's outside. But I'm not having her inside because she's barking because it's school pickup time and she's barking at all the people. So that's what happens when you harass the neighbours, is you get put outside. And she's unhappy with me. Both of them are very grumpy at me at the minute. I'm the worst dog mum in the world. Very bad. Okay, that's that green. Rightio, so our final green is going to be the apple green, more of a yellow green, just like we were looking at on the thingy before in my little notebook. And this was 1400. I'm getting in a bad habit of not saying the numbers. I need to say them. It's for my own reference later as well, as I'm editing. Let's do a little bit of the apple green here, just a little bit, but yeah, let's just do the browns and the oranges, I think, just because I want to get them a certain tone and I just don't have them in the Inktense, so we'll just leave it. I think we're officially at the 2 hours and 45-minute mark for the pencil basing. Oh my gosh, massive, a massive effort. That's fine. All good things take time. I keep telling myself that everything is fine. It's okay. Might not base Mr. Froggy either. Might leave him. Okay guys, I think we are ready finally for activating all of the lovely work that we've done. So what I have got is a cloth, and I've actually got two different types of brushes. I'm gonna see which one I like. Now, these are the two smallest sizes that I use. So the bottom one there is my regular, that's the smallest size. The one on the top here is the next one up. So we could use that because we've got such a large space to do. The only issue that I find with the bigger one is it leaks out a whole lot more water. And I just don't know if it's too much water for the coloring book. So sometimes I always start off with it and then I end up just freaking out a little bit. So we might just do the smaller one, but I will have it on hand just in case. Part of me wishes that I could use all the brushes in the set equally in the Arteza set. There's like, it comes with 6, but I only reach for 1. I wish they sold like big packs of this size. They might, and I just don't know about it. So I'm going to start from right, work my way over. Ace, be quiet. He's very unhappy about it. Yes, mate. And we'll probably just start swirling around these water areas like so. Feel free just to chuck this on. Oh my goodness, Ace. Feel free just to chuck this on and fast forward if you want. Again, everything's in chapters. And I'm just going to swirl it all out to the edges. I could put some paper down, but I think we're all right. I think it'll be okay. Just dot that around a bit, blend it out. What I should do is just follow, like I said I was going to do, and follow the lines around, so I don't get any blooming, which I don't like. At least this way it gets hidden by the lines. And that is good. That is enough water. I don't need any more than that. You can see we've got some nice colour already, which we can correct with our second layer if we need to. It's all good. Wipe off. Whenever I'm changing colour, I'm wiping off. So I'm heading into a really dark green section now. So get all that sorted and then wipe off, because I'm going to go back into a blue area and then drag it back in again. So when I'm doing that, it means I'm not going to drag unnecessary purples and greens and blues into the wrong section. Gee, that purple really does pop, doesn't it? It's awesome. I was just thinking about how it's like, oh, it's all looking a bit muted. I hope it, it brightens up a bit, but even just the sections that I've activated, it's like, wow, so bright. Doing my best not to activate the green at the same time. What I might do is we'll activate this page together, this side of the page, and then I'll activate the rest off camera, because it'll be the same thing, because it's the same elements across both pages really, so it'll be the same principle. So you can just watch for this one, pause it, catch up, and then re-watch. Rejoin, I should say. And you can use whatever's on your brush to like paint in other areas too, if there's like sections that we've missed, which happens. Let's, before I get ahead of myself, do some Lilypads so I'm not dipping into wet areas. Okay. See there, we've got a nice, nice deep colour. So the purple and the pink, they've blended with the green to, get like a very dark brown, which is nice. Sometimes that can be nicer than just going in with straight purple itself. Then I'll just dab this out a little bit. Okay. Let's do these ones. Again, just leaving gaps for the colours that I'll put over the top. The yellows and the browns, etc. All right, moving on to other bits. Water again. What I'll probably do too is, once all this has been activated, I'll just sit it all under a heavy book for a while. The pages, there's really not much warping at all, but I'll usually get some corners that curl, so we can flatten those out easy enough. Not a drama. Actually, I think we'll give it another 10 minutes. I thought this was going to be quick, but no. So let's give it another 10 or so, and then let's pause and we'll complete the rest of the activation. Because yeah, I think you get the gist, but we'll just give it a little bit longer. Purple is so nice and vibrant. Yeah. Looking forward to getting the neocolor twos. And it's kind of the sharpener technique that we'll go over, which will probably be in part 2, so stay tuned, that we'll go over is something that I've kind of wanted to do for a while, because I've got a couple of colours that are really blunt and I've been wanting to sharpen them, but I've been wanting to keep the shavings or use the shavings. So this is a good way to do that. If I sharpen onto the page. Fun times. Yes, Remy, I hear you. She's like, why is Remy not part of the party? Remy wants to be in the colouring party. I mean, this is their channel anyway, so yeah. Yeah, you know, don't you? She's just barking at me through the window. Little rat. And if you're wondering about the sparkle factor that I have planned for this page, oh, it's 1000%. Always. All right, let's do Brian's head. Sure, he'll be happy about that. He's like, get me activated, please. I'm a Jaguar on the edge. Need some colour in me. Heck yeah, I'm glad I haven't gone too ham with his spots yet. We can do that later. Heck, that would have taken 50 years. We could potentially bronze him up a little bit. I feel like Brian's a little bit too yellow. We can add some orange in some sections. We are adding pink, but it'll be like in a painterly kind of way. But yeah, I reckon we could orange him up a bit. Just a tiny bit. Like, we don't have to go tiger orange. Even like a like goldenrod in the Prismacolor. We could even just have little sections. Okay, I think what we're going to do now is, so that's this first section done, like down there. What we're going to do, we're going to pause the video. Let's activate the entire double page spread and I'll meet you back because I would like to get some of the like wax barrier, there's a word for it, kind of like a resistance, yeah, like a wax resistance details done in some of these lines. So I do want to get that done in this video. So then we can move on to part 2. So for us to fit everything in a nice little package. Let's go ahead and activate off camera. So I'm just going to use the same brush, the same technique across both pages. So we'll meet you back once all that's done. And just like that, I have activated everything. Gee whiz, that took a long time. I'm glad we only did a little bit on camera. I think in hindsight, and maybe I'll do this for future, rather than put all the Derwent Inktense down and then activate the whole lot at once, maybe we can do it as we go. We'll see. So what I want to do now, and this is probably going to be the last section of the video before we stop and move to part 2, is I want to create some, like a bit of wax resistant with white so I can make some highlights before I apply Neocolor 2 on. And if you do that with like a white crayon, then you can get some really cool effects and you can maintain some highlights, and it means we don't have to like work as hard, I suppose, to put them on after the fact. And I don't have a white crayon. I need to go and buy something like the Crayola set, or like just a really cheap set of crayons. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the waxiest pencil that I have, and that is the Holbein Soft White. And it says here use a knife to sharpen. So if you don't have the Holbeins, the set comes with a regular white and then like a super soft waxy white. So I'm going to use this today to create a bit of the wax resistance. And by using like a non-soluble wax white, it means that it won't dissolve when we put other water-soluble media on top. It'll kind of like come through. I don't know if you remember as a kid, did you ever do the art in school where you'd get like a wax candle and you'd write stuff and then you'd put like a wash over the top and you'd come through with your picture? Kind of like that. So I'll zoom you back in. Before I do that though, I'm just having a look at how all the colors have come out, and I'm really liking how it's looking up in this corner. We've got a lot of deep teals and stuff, but I'm feeling a little bit washed out in these areas. So I'm going to add a lot more color when we go in with our second layer. I would like everything to look a little bit more deeper and rich, but that's all good. That's what the first layer is for. And I'm just looking at Brian here too, and I feel like I've added too many shadows in here, but we'll see if we can fix it. I'll see if I can do like a blend and put a bit of a shadow up there in layer 2. So let's just start with, we could do, say like that. And another one over there. Now again, ideally, if I had a fully wax crayon, I would do that. I don't have that, so I'm just using a pencil. I'll go and buy some Crayolas or something. There are the Neocolor ones that I could use, but they're probably very expensive for the purpose that I want to use them for. So let's create some lines like outside of the line work as well. We can create our own lines. We can create some little bubbles or something. And I've never used this technique before. I saw this from Joanna Stone as well with her Neocolor work that she does, and I thought it was a really good idea to try. So I'm going to try it and we'll see what we get. Arguably, you can just use if you want to, a acrylic marker after the fact, but it just gives off a different vibe, and I want to have something a bit more soft rather than all these harsh whites everywhere. And I'll just go in with a touch of acrylic marker at the end. So we could, yeah, having a crayon would be best, but we'll work with what we have. If you have a white crayon, try it with both. Try it with this if you have the Holbein soft white. If you don't, try it with a crayon or just use your waxiest white that you have. So if you've got a Prismacolor white, use that. Derwent Drawing might do the trick, but it's probably not as thick and soft as it potentially needs to be. So let's just follow some lines around. Let's do some circles here, see how that comes out. Maybe we could do some highlights on Lilypads as well, because the more I go along, the more I'm kind of feeling like I want to do neocolor 2 on top of these as well, but we'll see what it looks like. Like I said earlier, I feel like I want this to be 2/3 water soluble medium and just like a little bit of pencil. I'm just in that kind of mood. And I think there's no time like the present. I'm just in a mood for experimenting. So we can create some ripples down there like that. I'm just follow the shape of that one. I'm really just trying to put the pencil like in the lightest spots, but I'm really just looking at it and just trying to, I'm just putting it anywhere. Like there's kind of no maths or science to this. I'm kind of just putting it where I feel it should go. Oh, I did it on the whisker. Oh well. And if it doesn't come up all that well, that's fine. At least I've given it a go, and then I can try crayons next. I'll just need to nip into Officeworks and grab myself some Crayolas. Or something. Let's do a bit here in the darker areas too, just a little bit. Making my way around. I'm also wondering what I do for the Jaguar as well, whether I do, yeah, I'll probably do more neocolor on our friend Brian as well. Because I don't want to do the whole lot in pencil. I'm not interested in doing a big pencil area. So I'll try and do as little as I can. We'll see how we go. I'm just not into that. It just doesn't suit me. I just don't like it. Maybe I'll like it eventually, but it's just not a vibe. Oh, the fact that I've got to sharpen this with a knife kind of irks me a little bit. I just tried to sharpen it before and I was a bit naughty and I tried to use, this is just like a Derwent sharpener that came with the blender and the burnisher. Works okay, but you get rid of a lot of core. So I have used a craft knife and it does work better, but I hate using this because I'm clumsy and I feel like I'm going to slice my finger open. So, But yeah, I used it. You can see I've got the knife with it. The key point is to point it away from yourself and sharpen away, which is what I did. Just so you know, I'm being very safe, but still. So again, if you want to see how Joanna does all this with a crayon in another Kerby book, I will link her below, her channel. You probably already follow her. I know that a lot of people do, but in case you haven't. Okay, let's do a bit over. For some highlights as well, just a bit of this, bit of that. Let's not forget up the top. Oh, someone's just started up a very noisy whippersnipper. I feel like every time I film a real-time colour along, it's gardening day for the whole neighbourhood. That'll be all right. Okay, let's see how we go with all this, hey? I think we've done enough. We can always add more. Let's do a little bit more here. We can always add more on to the top once we've done our next layer. Before we finish up though, I'm just going to grab an Albrecht Durer in the cadmium orange 111, and let's just, I know I said I was going to save this for pencil, but let's just get a bit of this in. And we'll activate it quickly. Again, orange works well as like an end color. So one end's green, the other end is orange, and you can have yellow in the middle because that's kind of the natural transition between the colors on the color spectrum. Now I'd like to have a bit more orange weave through on Brian as well. That's just giggling because if there's anyone that watches part 2 first, and I'm like, okay guys, we're working on Brian, they might be like, what on earth? All right, let's have a look at, let's do base of the lilies too. We'll just get some quick color in. We'll probably do a shift between orange to pink maybe, or something, who would know? We'll figure that out next time. Okay, I think that's all the bits. Yeah. Alrighty guys, we'll leave it there for part one. Thank you so much for joining me today. And let's do a quick bleed through check. I don't have any bleed through on this side, which is great. And the other one, that's already completed. So that, I don't know, I feel like that creates a bit of a barrier too, which is good. So yes, I will see you for part two, which I'm very excited about. I will link it below once it's up and available. I don't release the videos at the same time. Part one will come out and then part two will come out about 2 to 3 days later, hopefully. So I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.